Let's take a look at tonight's Red Sox lineup. It's sponsored by Modelo Oro. This is the #3 offense in baseball behind just the Rays and Rangers, averaging almost 6 runs per game. Rob Refsnyder will get the leadoff start tonight. So this evening, one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball, Masataka Yoshida, is getting a night off. He'll likely DH tomorrow. But that is the lineup that they're putting out there tonight. It is deep, and a lot of players have been very good offensively. They'll go up against the left-hander Bailey Falter, the 26-year-old from California. And down to the field to Ken Rosenthal for more.
Adam, you mentioned the Red Sox offense. Keep in mind, they are doing this without the injured Trevor Story and Adam Duvall. The Red Sox have been relentless. They have knocked out the opposing starter before the end of the 4th inning 10 times. That's the most in Major League Baseball, and that's the challenge Bailey Falter faces tonight.
And is seeking his first victory of the season, 0-5 with an ERA up around 5 over the course of his 6 starts this year.
Well, he is in for that challenge, and he's a contact pitcher that likes to throw a lot of strikes. So see if he can use his fastball a little bit more. You spoke to the numbers on the year. He's pitched a little bit better than that, but when you're a contact pitcher and you go up against a hot offense, you're going to have to mix up your pitches a little bit more than this. He's highly reliant on that 4-seam fastball. He likes to pitch up in the zone, but as I said, only 14% swing and miss rate with 2 strikes. And most pitchers, when they get to 2 strikes, have a put-away pitch. He's yet to have that kind of working for him on the year, and see how he navigates the lineup as the umpires are telling the players, get back to the bench.
Falter waiting an extra couple of moments here as he seeks his first win since late September of 2022. You mentioned it, he has pitched better than his numbers. He's had some bad luck a little bit. You know, guys not making certain plays. Also a major lack of run support. His offense has only averaged about 2 runs of support per outing for Falter this year. Rob Refsnyder is a good hitter against lefties, at least has been since he's been in a Red Sox uniform. He'll climb in to lead it off, and away we go on a Saturday night, and a strike from Falter. 7-16 first pitch.
You're going to see long stride, kind of a unique long delivery, comes over the top. Going to be a lot different than what Corey Kluber does on the opposite side.
The Koufax inspired delivery yields another strike on a swing. It's 0-2.
You know, and what that does is you'll see 90 miles an hour, which ranks pretty low as far as miles per hour per the starting pitchers, but his deception in his delivery creates an illusion to the hitter. That's why he can pitch up in the zone and get away with it.
The word extension comes to mind with Falter, who comes home and misses high.
Yeah, I think 5th best extension, and what that is the release point from the mound to home plate. So that's that long stride you're seeing.
There's a 1-2, and Refsnyder a little bit late, maybe a little bit deceived on that fastball at just 91. Falter gets the strikeout.
Again, imagine this long delivery, and then the ball kind of pops up, and late.
You can see that extension from that view in particular. Falter all of 6'4", 175, deals to Alex Verdugo. He takes a strike. Verdugo back in the starting lineup after sitting out the last 2 games with an illness. He did pinch run for Yoshida last night in the 9th inning and played defense, but he has been outstanding and very much a clutch hitter for the Red Sox this year.
You can already see pitching at the top of the zone. He does that about as good as anybody, in the 60% range of his fastballs go up in the top part of the strike zone. Verdugo won't give an inch against left-handers or any starting pitching. He's been dominating starting pitching this year.
A half swing, and he goes through. Lance Barrett calls a strike, and it's 1-2. Falter home. 2-2. For the Red Sox, who have 20 wins to 14 losses, 13 of their 20 victories for Alex Cora's club have been comeback wins. 3 of the walk-off hits have belonged to the man in the box who Cora challenged in spring training, Verdugo. close pitch just off the corner for Falter. He looked like he really wanted that one.
And that's what I mean about Verdugo. He doesn't swing and miss a lot. He has a real quiet approach, and then all of a sudden he goes to the ball, recognizes that's outside, doesn't pull the trigger. Really solid approach when facing left-handers.
Payoff to Verdugo is lifted down the left field line. Kyle Schwarber over, and he'll run out of room. We mentioned it. It is a Sandy Koufax inspired delivery.
Yeah, and you're going to see this tilt right here. There he goes, and then the arms go back. It's just a long spread between the arm and his glove. And then there you see the average extension, and that's going to create an illusion to the hitter. The farther you get down the mound, the more the ball seems to pop, no matter what the velocity is against the hitters.
Timeout used. Falter entered action with just over 32 innings, but only 22 strikeouts. He struck out Refsnyder swinging, trying to put away Verdugo on a 3-2. Verdugo again, as you said, John, not going to give an inch. He fights off another one.
He battles, and when the ball's up, he can go the other way as well. You know, Verdugo hit a lot of ground balls when the shift was in play, and I think he's going to get rewarded this year because no shift rule changes. He hits those ground balls hard. They're going to be rewarded for hits.
Pitch number 8 of the plate appearance is lifted in the air to left center field. It is Brandon Marsh over, and it's 2 up and 2 down. Philadelphia defensively, Schwarber did commit an error in the first inning last night, but it's a rare error. Just 12 errors all year for this team, and Castellanos has been excellent defensively compared to where he was the last couple of years. Sosa, Turner, Stott, and Bohm, their normal infield as it stands right now. And of course, the two-time Gold Glover JT Realmuto, considered to be one of the best defensive catchers of the game.
Well, for Justin, he likes the ball up, middled in.
Justin Turner on a breaking ball holds off.
And so for Falter, he's going to have to try to pitch Turner away. Turner, one of the rare leg kicks in his mechanical setup, but it's a timing mechanism to get to the fastball.
And Turner goes the other way. Castellanos coming on, and boy, has that become a familiar image to Philly fans. Falter gives Castellanos the love as he makes another rangy catch to end the first. Paco Figueroa, one of the assistant coaches for this Phillies team, has worked with Castellanos. He's been good defensive lineup, but a lot of guys just haven't gotten going just yet. Schwarber and Turner at the top in particular. Harper just came back from the Tommy John surgery. Castellanos, Stott, Realmuto, Bohm, Marsh, who's off to a torrid start. And Sosa rounds it out. They'll face the 3-time All-Star, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, the 37-year-old Corey Kluber.
Corey Kluber, according to his manager, starting to trend in the right direction lately, but not a lot of ground balls, a lot of fly balls. That's uncharacteristic.
The struggling Kyle Schwarber takes a strike, Johnny.
And when he's going good, he's got that good hard sinker with that cutter and changeup. There's the breakdown right there. The changeup being a weapon, the curveball thrown a lot.
1-1 on Kyle Schwarber, who is mired in a brutal start, although that has been fairly typical. He really heats up when you get to about June, but Rob Thompson hoping that Schwarber can pick it up a little bit. Strikeouts are high right now for Kyle. He's had so many big-time moments in so many postseason games, big in the World Baseball Classic as well.
He was out early working with Kevin Long, trying to get some technique working. And timing and mechanics are so important, and when you're in a funk, you just lose a combination of those. But your point is well taken. When he gets hot, he can carry a ball club. Nobody's hit streakier home runs than Kyle.
Takes a breaking ball the other way to stay alive. Had 46 home runs last year to lead the National League, but also led the majors in strikeouts. You take the good and the bad with Schwarber, who I think you said it right, can carry a team on his own.
Down and down below the zone is where they've been getting him this year.
2-2. That one a little bit up in the zone. He gets a pop-up, does Kluber. Devers over. He'll call off the catcher McGuire, and there's one down. Corey Kluber, you mentioned it, his ground ball rate for his career is about 43%. For perspective, this year it's down around 29%. So that sinker hasn't really found it just yet. That's why he's given up 8 home runs this season.
Yeah, he's got a streak he'd like to end in that home run department.
Trey Turner, first pitch, left center field. That's going to split the outfielders for extra bases. Trey Turner into scoring position with a 1-out double.
Of course, Trey Turner, one of the most talented shortstops in the league. Big signing contract here to make this lineup about as tough as it is to pitch against. He's got speed, he's got power. If he cuts down the strikeouts this year, I still maintain that this young man's going to win an MVP one of these years. And if he cuts down the strikeouts, that might be the year he wins the MVP.
7th straight game of the base hit for Turner, who sets it up for Bryce Harper in his 4th game back. First pitch swinging and a bouncer foul.
I don't think people realize what a miracle this guy has done by coming back this early after Tommy John surgery. Of course, he won't be doing much throwing, but still that elbow opens as a left-handed hitter, so he has been working hard, healed quick, and what a great gift to be here. They're going to hold their breath though a lot with the instincts of playing baseball that naturally come to a competitive guy, sliding, reaching, doing all those things that you hope he can remember that elbow's injured.
Nice play by McGuire. A good stop to make sure it doesn't get behind him. Keeps Turner at second base. Harper had an infield single yesterday and then came around on a Castellanos extra base hit, went first to home and slid into home and popped up and ripped the brace off. 1-2.
Well, that's what they're going to be worried about, right? And when he gets on the bases, he'll put the brace on. But there's still the human element of Harper, who gives his all every time he's out there. And what an incredible situation. He's back already.
He lifts one to deep center field, but playable for Duran, who's in and out and moves back to make the catch.
As we watch this swing and missing most of the year, coming back, and doesn't look like he's hurt at all with the way that he gets extension. There's that changeup from Kluber. The wind is blowing to right field, so anything that isn't hit on the line should knock it down from left to center towards right. Pitchers always checking the flags to determine which part of the park.
Check swing from Castellanos.
First thing I always check especially when you go to Wrigley.
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, my arm hurts today. Why? Because the flag
wind is blowing out. That's why. Castellanos has seen a lot of Kluber, former AL Central foes. And Kluber trying to take advantage of Castellanos' typical aggressiveness. He has been very good with runners in scoring position so far. Has been very aggressive at the plate, but has produced at a high rate so far this year, trying to bring Turner home. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, last year was kind of atypical. There's no way that he was going to follow that up this year. This guy knows how to hit.
Yeah.
And just got out of whack there a little bit, but he's hitterish. He's hitting over 300. He's making life miserable for starting pitchers again.
Check swing again, and he went around according to Charlie Ramos, so it's 2-2.
Oh, I'm a pitcher, and I didn't think he went around on that one.
Yep.
Replay will always tell us. Yeah, I don't know. More elbows.
Yeah, rather than the bat. Kluber with a big 2-2, and Castellanos golfs it into right for Verdugo. Corey Kluber works around the Turner double, and Rafi Devers leading the American League with 11 home runs, tied for the major league lead with 32 RBIs. He'll lead it off for the Red Sox in the second. Tonight, gorgeous night. Scoreless to the second inning. Bailey Falter goes to work against one of the several left-handers in the Boston lineup. Rafael Devers waves at the first fastball and misses. 11 home runs, most in the AL, tied for the most RBIs in baseball. Now 150 career Boston Red Sox homers, third fastest in Red Sox history to hit that mark. After Xander Bogaerts departed, Devers becomes the big money player on this team. 1-year contract for this year at $17.5 million, and then the 10-year extension over $300 million, which will kick in next year. There's a 1-1.
That's where they got to get Devers, is down. He's good lefty on left, up, good in the middle of the zone, up against anybody. And that pitch a little bit below the zone. So see if they try to steal another one down below, because with 2 strikes this year, that's one of the areas he's struggled. Devers typically doesn't give up much with 2 strikes, but struggling this year at about a 122 clip.
See the umpiring crew. Devers lifts one to right. Castellanos in front of the track. It's 4 up and 4 down for Falter. Still time to enter for a chance to win $10,000 for free. You can play Fox Bet Super 6. Download the app on your phone, then enter your 6 baseball predictions in the MLB Super 6 Challenge for a chance to win big. 6 correct picks, you can win big. Couple of righties, couple of lefties, all retired by Falter. Here's the right-hander, Kike Hernandez. And he takes a strike at 75 miles an hour. Dropped that one in on the curve. Hernandez has been banged up a little bit, dealing with an ankle issue last week. Struggled a little bit defensively as he's moved around so often in his big league career. In particular, center. Right now playing shortstop for the Sox, as he bounces one too short for his counterpart Trey Turner. 2 down.
Well, the one thing that Cora loved about this team, and certainly the stretch they're in, he said, look, we put together long at bats. They're all collectively working as one. They're not trying to do a bunch of selfish at bats, and that's why they've heated up and won 7 in a row. And it's a few new players that have kind of thrust in energy. While some of the players are mended up and hurt, waiting to get back, it's guys like this that have jump started the team.
Jarren Duran showing bunt, and he fouls it. This is one of the guys that Alex Cora kind of pointed out specifically as somebody who can make a big jump. And only 18 games after being called back up to the club when Adam Duvall got hurt, but he has produced exceptionally well so far. Had a key hit in last night's game, had a double, and then the go-ahead run scored in the 6th inning.
Well, I can't wait till we can truly quantify. Maybe it's post All-Star break, but with the new rule changes, I'm looking to see which team really has benefited the most from all the changes. I know that's a lot to take in, the pitch clock, the bases, the no shift, you know, but I think teams like Houston and maybe even Boston and maybe the Mets, like lineups that put the ball in play more than don't, I think it's got to benefit with the rule changes.
And this is a very lefty heavy lineup too, so you would imagine that it would really help out a team like this. Duran lifts it the other way. Sosa's got room, and he's got out number 3. 6 up and 6 down for Bailey Falter so far. Inning and a half through. Okay, we're scrapping it. Corey Kluber worked around a 1-out double from Trey Turner in the first. We are scoreless to the bottom of the second. Bryson Stott will lead it off for Philadelphia. And a left-hander takes a strike. Kike Hernandez is the Boston shortstop tonight. It's so kind of him to take time to put on the microphone and the earpiece, and we can chat a little bit with Kike. Kike, thanks for the time tonight, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Oh,
Bryson Stott takes one off the body. That'll put him on first base.
The Blues are loud on this thing.
And he seems to be all right. He's going to head to first. Kike, if you can't hear us, I know it's a little bit loud on the field tonight, but if you can just give me a sense, you've moved around a lot in your baseball career defensively. You played center during the World Baseball Classic. You're back at shortstop now. Just what is the process of having to change these positions and try to get used to another position so often?
Well, like you said, I've done this for a while now. The only difference is I get to play one position on a daily basis instead of moving around, and the more repetition, the better. And here we are in May, and I'm more and more comfortable every day.
First pitch is a strike to Real Muto. Can you just give us a sense of the process of preparing in such a high action position like shortstop?
Well, it's kind of like playing second base, but on the other side, obviously, longer throw, it's a different angle at times. Obviously, playing center field, game's a little slower out there, but I like playing up the middle. Most of the action, I get to back up a lot of things, so yeah.
So Hernandez positioned straight away at short. A 1-1 from Kluber to Real Muto.
Ooh. Oh, what a good pitch.
Kike, of all the positions you play, which one do you enjoy the most?
Probably this or second. Center field is fun, but it gets boring out there. Game's slow. I got no friends to talk to. Fans talk a lot more smack in the outfield.
Lifted in the air, deep to left field, off the bat of Real Muto. Backing is Tapia at the track for out number 1. Back to first goes Stott. And there is our mic'd up man Hernandez as the cutoff man. One away.
All right, Corey.
You got a veteran on the mound tonight in Corey Kluber. First year that he's been with the Red Sox. Give me a sense of what you see from Corey Kluber, who's been a little bit sharper these last couple of outings.
Sorry, I can't hear the walk-up song. I can only hear the walk-up song in the earpiece. I heard Corey Kluber, and that's it.
We'll repeat the question for you, Kike. Here's Alec Boehm. You got a veteran in Kluber now. First year that you guys are together here. Give me a sense of how he's been these last couple of starts. He's been a little bit sharper.
Yeah, he's been better. I think it's just, a little more comfortable. Sometimes it's the environment we play in April.
That gets through McGuire. On to second base goes Stott.
His pitches move a lot, and I think when it's cold, he doesn't get the same action like he does. Playing right behind him tonight to lead off the game with Schwarber, he threw him a slider for strike 2, and I knew it was coming with the pitch com and all, and that pitch looked like a frisbee, and it buckled me at short, and I knew what's coming.
It's a 1-1.
Attaboy.
1-2.
KK, unlike the mound that I'm on, every mound is different. How are the infields different from park to park, and how do you adjust it when you is it just as simple taking ground balls?
Yeah, no, day one is very important, obviously, to see how the grass and the dirt grass plays. And MLB said that all infields were supposed to be the same size now with the shift restrictions and all that, but I don't think they're enforcing it very much, because there's definitely some infields that are way bigger than others. This one feels a little bigger than the one at home.
Oh, shoot.
Left center field, charging in is Duran. It'll drop down for a base hit. Stop coming around. And the Phillies take a 1-0 lead on a base hit from Alec Boehm.
But yeah, some infields, me and you, Corey, some infields are quicker than other. Some grass, sometimes it's the grass, sometimes it's the dirt. This one is somewhat similar to Fenway, but Fenway feels like it's been a little more humid and the dirt gets a little more wet, but pretty similar than that.
Nothing one on Brandon Marsh, who's off to a good start this year.
Carita, tú y yo.
Saying you and me to Rafi over there communicating. How has it been communicating with Rafi Devers on that side now that you're over at short?
It's been great. He's pretty funny during the game. Now with the shift restrictions, This play right here gets a little tricky because I feel like I can get to balls to my right, but Yo-Yo being so far to his left, anything to my right that it's not like a step to my right, I got to let Rafi take it and I got to go to the bag. And that one's a little bit of adjustment because my instincts make me want to go to the ball every time. But once again, more repetition, the easier it is to adjust.
I was talking last week about Jazz Chisholm and how he's made the adjustment as well, going the other way from infield to outfield, and how he almost had to rein his instincts in to play a little bit further back. Does playing on the infield allow you to be a little bit quicker with what's instinctual to you?
In.
Duran's there for out number 2.
What? Yeah, definitely. That's why I prefer the infield to the outfield. I like the quick game. I like to play fast. And the outfield can get a little slow, so I think if you can play short, you can play anywhere. And Jazz is a good enough athlete, obviously, to get comfortable out there and dominate that position. I think you just need to take the same mentality as in the infield. Same pre-pitch and all that, and he'll be just fine.
2 down for Sosa.
Ooh, good pitch.
Two down, second inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. Kike Hernandez, the Red Sox shortstop, kind enough to wear a mic for us here in this second inning. Oof. To right, Verdugo. Kike, thanks so much for the time, man. Really appreciate you giving us so much great insight on the way back.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we win again.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
See ya.
1-0 Phillies to the third. Awesome stuff from Kike. Stott was hit. Bohm drove him in. That's how the Phillies have a 1-0 lead. And Christian Arroyo pops the first pitch in Bohm's direction and just out of his reach as he was sprinting over. Bohm with 25 RBIs this year, and that has given Philadelphia the early advantage. Christian Arroyo has 1 home run this year. That came on Tuesday against Toronto. Now, if you say Kikuchi. Quickly 0-2.
You can see how the ball gets in on the hitters, and really just the velocity doesn't make sense when you think about 90 miles an hour. But we talked about his extension and his ability to pitch up in the zone. If he can improve his secondary pitches with 2 strikes and change the eye levels like he has up, and then spin some balls down and get some swings and misses with 2 strikes, that's going to make his chances a lot better.
Well, he goes up in the zone and gets Arroyo to chase. Second strikeout, both on the fastball, and it's 7 up and 7 down thus far for Falter.
See, and my point is he can only do that to so many hitters, right? Pitching up, that hitter, like the ball up, he can expand. But as he continues to mature and get to the point where this ballpark is not really a fly ball friendly ballpark, he's going to be right where he needs to, because he can command the baseball. That's not a problem.
Deals a strike to Raimel Tapia. 7 of the 8 Red Sox hitters have seen a first pitch strike. Tapia has been the leadoff man with Verdugo out the last couple of days. Now he's back down in the order with Yoshida getting the night off. There's a 1-run from Falter. On the ground to second, punch to Stott for out number 2. Ken Rosenthal, talk to me a little bit about the velocity of this young left-hander at 26 years of age for Philadelphia.
Adam, the Phillies would like to see just a little bit more. His velo is down this year from about 91 to 90. They figure if he can get up to 92 to 94 with that extension, he'll be that much more effective.
And it comes out with that extension, as we talked about. It almost feels like it's coming out at maybe 91, 92, 93. Well, at least the way it looks.
Yeah, that's big key. I mean, that's why we have all kinds of ways to measure metrics. Spin rate, backspin, vertical break, you name it. It makes my head spin. But the hitter's going to tell you what he sees when a pitcher throws the ball. It does not have to be always a computer output.
There's a good view of it right here.
We used to call guys have the invisible, and you know what's the invisible? Well, their mechanics and the way they threw, the hitter just couldn't see it, and that's why I've always been a big fan. I'm glad he's got a prototypical kind of throwback delivery, because that deception adds to his success and will add to his success.
1-1 to McGuire, who goes fishing at a fastball. 1-2.
If he did what was in vogue in the kind of sidestep, like mini stretch version, that's for guys who haven't been able to repeat their mechanics, in my opinion, simplify, but also the hitter gets to see that same picture over and over again the entire game.
Yep.
Whether there's nobody on or runners on first and second.
There's a 1-2 to McGuire. Off the fist and fouled back. When Bailey was 6 years old, he was playing a version of dodgeball at his school, and he was beating up on the teachers because he had such a good arm. So his dad, Darwin, started to think, well, maybe this kid's got the opportunity to be a baseball player. And Darwin, who loved Sandy Koufax, started to show Bailey some photos of Koufax, and as Bailey became a baseball player, that's how he started to repeat this mechanic of Sandy Koufax. Matt Gelb of The Athletic did a great piece on it. And Falter is locked in. He ramped it up to 92 on another high fastball. 9 up and 9 down start for Falter. His Phillies have a 1-0 lead, and Bryce Harper in just his top of the Philadelphia order, and Kyle Schwarber waves through against Corey Kluber to start the frame. Schwarber, the former Red Sox, split 2021 with the Nationals and then the Red Sox, is an all-star. As he hits one to second base, Arroyo is there to vacuum it up, and a quick first out in the third. Week 4 action in the USFL continues tomorrow. Birmingham and Pittsburgh will square off at 6:30 Eastern time. That'll be over on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. More football coming your way in the spring. Trey Turner took the first pitch he saw in the first for a double to left center. He'll take one inside.
Well, Trey Turner loves to hit, and he's got power, which he's displayed in an incredible way at the WBC. More home runs in the WBC in a shorter span, obviously, than the home runs he's hit currently right now. But you're going to see the combination of power, speed, and these Philly fans are going to love it.
3 homers, 4 steals so far. That third home run came Tuesday at his old stomping grounds of Dodger Stadium. There are those WBC numbers. The grand slam against Venezuela, one of the memorable moments of a memorable WBC. There's a 1-2. Oh man, that was a tough breaking ball from Kluber. Curve diving away from Turner.
When Kluber was at his best, he had 2 ways to get you out. He had the sinker that ran away and the curveball that chased you in. And this breaking ball away from the right-hander, it turns the corner. When it turns the corner, a lot of guys are going to look like that.
Bryce Harper climbing in. There was a timeout used by Harper as he was taking his time getting into the box. Harper debuted Tuesday in Los Angeles, went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, then came back Wednesday, went 3 for 3 with a couple of walks, and then had an infield single and that run scored from first base on the Castellanos double last night. Flew out to center his first time up tonight.
Yeah, Kluber's trying to not pitch any one pitch in the same area twice. He moves it around, changes speeds, and changes the eye level of the hitter.
Harper rips one to right field for a base hit. His 5th since returning. He's aboard with a 2-out single. This is the first AB. Got the big bright red batting gloves on, and then no batting gloves here.
just wanted to feel the bat. And he felt it to a line drive for a hit.
Doesn't seemingly have that brace on that right arm.
I would just tell you right now, I got to confess.
Oh, there it is. There's the brace.
Yeah, I had to, everyone who wears that brace understands the responsibility of Tommy John and the recovery of it. I ran that sucker over in the car about 5 times when I was done with it.
Castellanos fouls it 1-1.
Because when you get it, they tell you, oh, it changes the extension of your elbow, and they can crank it to different levels. They said you'll be, during the middle of the night, you'll throw this thing off. I'm like, I got this. I'll do it. I want to come back.
Sure.
Sure enough, 2 a.m. It's banging off the wall because you're just.
Castellanos towards the hole. There is Kike Hernandez. Tough play to get Harper at second. That'll close out the frame, leaving a man stranded. Hernandez doing some good things defensively. The telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. And Bryce Harper showing off the NL championship rings. First playoff appearance since 2011 after a rocky start. The firing of Joe Girardi in early June. Then Rob Thompson took over and helped take this team all the way to the World Series. An improbable run for Philadelphia last year. They fell in 6 games to the Houston Astros in what was a really fun postseason. A really fun run for these fans in Philadelphia. You were here for the whole postseason in Philly. And it was absolute bedlam at times as Refsnyder takes a strike.
It was an incredible environment. It was an incredible run. I mean, the new playoff system, and I didn't think anybody could go from that position they were in all the way to the World Series, and especially given the road they had to make.
Refsnyder punches one off the fist towards Schwarber. That'll drop down for a base hit, and the first base runner of the night for Boston comes 10 batters in. It's Refsnyder.
But I will say this about the Phillies organization and what they're able to do in the offseason and put this team in a better chance or position to, even go farther. And that's win it all. What they went through last year will help them for this year, but they got to be careful that they don't get too far behind. The top-loaded National League East won't give up too big of a lead this year. I know the Mets gave up a big lead against the Braves last year, but I think this team is getting close to getting on a nice run. Offensively, their pitching's coming around. The Phillies are not going anywhere, even though they've gotten off to a sluggish start.
Losers of 5 straight trying to snap the skin. They've got the 1-0 lead. 0-1 on Alex Verdugo. Hard hit past a diving ball. Ripped towards the wall. On his way to third, Refsnyder. He's going to get the stop sign there from Carlos Fabulous. It's an extra base hit for Verdugo. And after the first 9 Sox were retired, it's back-to-back hits to start the 4th inning against Falter. And here comes one of the best offenses in baseball with 2 on into the heart of their order now.
Yeah, this is a bullet. This is that fastball middle, and he doesn't even give Bohm a chance to react. I mean, he gave his best effort, but this is where the Red Sox have been dangerous. They string together hits. They put together long at bats. Even though you mentioned their first 9 went down, they're getting a second look now at the starting pitcher.
And here's Justin Turner. One of the changes, if you want to call it that, for this Red Sox offense. Peter Fatsi, the hitting coach, and his staff. A lot of good long meetings. That's been typical under Alex Cora. But a lot of vocality amongst a lot of players. Turner at the forefront of it. In all these hitters meetings. JD Martinez kind of played that role of leader for all the young guys. Martinez gone now to Los Angeles. Now here's Turner, 38 years old, veteran, comes in. And it's not just him. It's a lot of guys rallying around Turner, really being communicative when it comes to game plans and mindset going into each series. A lot of quality at bats. Even for Turner, who isn't producing at a super high level, he's getting on base at a great clip because of at bats like this.
Yeah, well, he's a professional hitter. We showed the runners in scoring position batting average is 300, but since last year it's 331. So he's a machine when they're on base, and his approach is second to none. I really think his influence will be spread throughout this team like it was spread throughout the Dodgers. And normally you would say, okay, 3-0, he's not going to swing away, but I wouldn't be so sure about that.
2 on, nobody out. And he'll take outside to load the bases for Devers. The 2-0 pitch was a big one in that at bat.
Yeah, it was a breaking ball that caught the middle of the plate, and that you'll learn. Hey, we all did this. It's a good meeting at the mound right now, but you'll learn to let the catcher do some battling for you, right? I mean, the pitcher's emotions, I was bad at it early. I really was. I was put my head down, or I'd stare extra long, and I learned a lesson the hard way. I think some of those games I got 6 and 7 walks, and they weren't all walks, but it was a process that the umpire was going to let me know. Stop staring in there, youngster.
This is just start number 24 of the career of Bailey Falter at the big league level. It's only his 49th appearance in a big league game, so there's still a lot of learning to do, it feels like, for a young pitcher like this.
Yeah, and again, I thought that was a great meeting just to reset the brain here. Bases loaded. You've had 9 up, 9 down. Now your first bump in the road potentially. First time out of the stretch. So you just tell them to breathe and get a couple outs and trade a run. You know, you don't try to pitch out of this jam. You trade a run. If you can get 3 outs and give up 1 run with bases loaded, nobody out, that is a great job.
Now here is one of the most dangerous hitters in a dangerous lineup. Bags juiced for Devers, who goes after the first one on that breaking ball and pumps it back foul.
I think that was part of the strategy going out, saying, you know, he likes the first pitch, make a good secondary pitch here, and you get ahead of him, and then you can climb the ladder with 2 strikes.
Big spot here in the 4th. Devers fouls it back again. That time there's that high fastball that Falter's been leaning on. It's 0-2.
And now with 2 strikes, I would expect him to try and steal a little, about 4 more inches above there. With 2 strikes, you can get him to swing up. These are some of the hitters you circle in the lineup, knowing how do I get him out of the zone, up above the zone.
Devers has struck out 29 times this year. Was lower that time with the breaking ball.
And see, the only reason I don't like that pitch right there, do you know the variance between where that pitch ended up and where the last pitch he fouled off? The hitter can recognize that. You have to be a total free swinger to swing at those 2 pitches. If that would have been a low fastball he fouled off, that pitch right there would have been a great one because it was in the same tunnel that the hitter saw. That was too big of a variance.
There's a 1-2, and Devers fights off that breaking pitch.
You see, everything about pitching, at least for what we were taught, is the hitter remembers the last pitch and the location it was in. You can be a guess hitter. There aren't many of them anymore. They're just looking location, letting that bat go. He's thrown 2 in a row down there. See if he climbs a little bit, raises the eyes again with a fastball up.
Here's a 1-2. Indeed, it's a fastball drilled towards left center field. That's into the gap. This may clear the bases. Let's see. It's going to score a pair. The Red Sox have taken the lead on a Devers double.
The difference is that pitch was right down the middle and didn't get above the strike zone. Right idea, just didn't execute. And the hitter took advantage of it. Watch this pitch. Right down the middle. Needed to be up near the mask. And Devers gets on top of it.
And what did you tell me earlier, John? Falter hasn't really been able to put guys away when he gets to 2 strikes. Devers fought off a couple, and then he gets the 2 runs out of it. Here's Kike Hernandez. Still nobody out. First 4 batters have reached, 2 have scored. There's a little bit of a delay. I thought there may have ended up being a pitch clock violation. They were still resetting the pitch clock. There may have been a pitch comm issue that the catcher Real Muto informed home plate umpire Lance Barrett about. That's why there was no violation. Hernandez to third. That will keep Turner at third. Nicely played by Sosa that time. And then Turner comes over to his old teammate Turner to make sure that Justin doesn't advance from third base. Good play by Sosa, who's known for his defense. There's a get it big first out for Philly.
That was a good play, and the contact play was not on. So what that means is the runner has to see the ball go through to score with nobody out. And Turner made it as uncomfortable as he could for Sosa, because once Sosa got that far off the bag, Turner could take his distance equivalent.
First pitch strike to Duran.
Now the infield will play in with 2 outs and a left-hander up with 1 out, rather than play back and get the out and give up 1 more run.
That's why that play prior is that much more magnified. It completely changes the situation now.
Right. Yeah, the only thing, you never do this with nobody out, because in the inning can get huge, but you take your chances with 1 out.
Duran lifts it foul.
I know Maddox particularly didn't like this when he was pitching, because he didn't mind giving up 1 more run. He just didn't want to give up, the bloop.
Right.
And so for the most part, you trust your pitcher on the mound and how he's going to get you out, and play your defense accordingly.
20th pitch of the frame for Falter. It's a 1-2 to Duran. Did he go around? He sure did. Back-to-back key outs for Bailey Falter. 2 down for Arroyo with still 2 aboard. Boston has the lead on the Devers double after the bases were loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, I really think he reset his brain right here with the breaking balls. There was the fastball up. See how it was above the zone, but then he went right back to the breaking ball, reset his eyes. He went back to the breaking ball. The timing was good. Fastball not above the zone, in the zone, and give Devers credit.
Arroyo first pitch swinging. Schwarber coming on. He can't get there. 1 run is in. Here's the play at the plate. The throw's cut off. Devers scores. Arroyo goes after the first one and advances 2 more home for a 4-1 Boston lead.
It's a confident offense right now, and they didn't get a hit the first 9 times up, and they've made up for that here in this inning by reaching base now 5 times and scoring 4.
There's Tapia taking a strike. Red Sox in their 7-game win streak have scored 52 runs. Already 4 more on the board tonight, not even through 4 innings. There goes the runner, and Tapia bounces it foul.
So the debate in baseball, a lot of it has to do with the ability to spin a baseball and elevate a 4-seamer, pitch top of the zone, because everyone's trying to hit home runs, and it has value, but not everybody can do it. And I know we've seen that 66% of his strikes are up in the zone, and it works for Falter until it doesn't. Right? And so where else can a pitcher go when things aren't working? If you own one side of the plate, that's a good thing, especially down and away. But if you can get the ball down and own the down part, the low part of the zone, that's a good thing. It just plays with fire up in the zone. If you're not 98, 97, and so he's going to have to learn when to pick his spots and where to get that ball where he feels like he can go to at any point. And because he throws a lot of strikes, that's a good thing, but because the ball's in the strike zone a lot, may not be a good thing. Does that make sense?
It does.
And that's the fine line of information and what you're being told your pitch is good at by somebody who can output the information and by inputting the data. But the pitcher has to understand that as well, and where he's good and how to master that.
Hard hit ball off the bat of Tapia to extend the Red Sox inning. Another 2-strike hit for Boston. And Tapia moves Arroyo into scoring position. 8 men have come to the plate now for Boston. The 9th will be McGuire.
To finish that thought, if somebody at the plate's not fearful of something you're good at, then they're more comfortable at the plate. So if they're more comfortable at the plate and you pitch up, you may have to pitch in a little bit more to make them uncomfortable. if you're really good down and away, then that hitter starts reaching out. You can bust him in. There's ways to navigate the mound when a hitter, let's say, is too comfortable or doesn't fear something. A great breaking ball or a great changeup, a secondary pitch that gets you off the fastball. So that's what he's having to navigate right now, and Boston's taking advantage of it.
You're saying you need multiple combinations of good pitch, good location. It can't just be one of each. You got to find some pitch that you really feel comfortable with, a location that you feel comfortable with, a combination of the two, and multiple versions of it.
Yeah, because you have to constantly adjust in this game. Everybody knows everything about everybody now.
All the data's out there now.
And you got to be able to adjust.
1-1. 1-2. Now, Kenny was talking about this at the top of the broadcast, right? The second time through the order, the depth of this lineup. 9 up, 9 down the first time through. This second time through, all in this fourth inning. Very productive. 2-2 on the 9-hitter McGuire, who's done a nice job from the catcher spot. He and Connor Wong have combined this season for 37 hits. One of the best catching duos in terms of offense in all of baseball. Falter just trying to get past a 30-plus pitch inning, and it extends with McGuire fouling it away.
Well, it speaks to really Boston's confidence in their plan of how they're going to move the next 2 to 3 years, right? A lot of off seasons, they would go after the highest price or take big moves and make big splashes. Not so much this year. More under the radar, sneaky moves that are paying off for Alex Cora.
32nd pitch of the inning is lifted into left field, down for a base hit. Here comes Arroyo. The throw from Schwarber. Play at the plate. It's 5-1 Boston. And the bottom of the order with 3 consecutive hits for the Red Sox to make it a 4-run lead. And you wonder how much longer Rob Thompson will stick with Falter.
Well, the worst part is, as a manager, as he comes out to take him out, you always think he can get that one out and reset the inning and maybe get out of the jam. It just never happened. He couldn't get that last out for the last 3 hitters.
Multiple guys he had 2 strikes on, just couldn't put the inning away. 5 across in the frame, a 32 pitch inning still going in the 4th. Rob Thompson has to go to the bullpen here in the 4th. Still 2 on, 2 out. Luis Ortiz is on for the 8th time this year. About a strikeout per inning toss thus far. The right-hander is on in relief of Bailey Falter. The Red Sox have batted through. Now back to the top. Refsnyder started this inning off with a single and has scored one of the 5 Boston runs. Now Philly goes to a right-hander. And a first pitch foul from Refsnyder. Ken Rosenthal, this continues a trend for the Red Sox offense.
It does, Adam. We talked about this in the open. This is the 11th time in 35 games they have knocked out the opposing starter before the end of the 4th inning. That is by far the most in Major League Baseball.
Peter Fatsi satisfied so far. Still looking for more. Nice breaking ball from Ortiz, gets a swing and miss.
Sinker, slider, a lot of those 2-pitch combinations against right-handed batters. You saw the late break. He throws them equally as much. 47% sliders, 45 to 46% fast sinkers.
And he gets Refsnyder on 3 pitches to mercifully end it in the 4th for Philadelphia. A 5-run frame. Devers started it off with that 2-run double. Plated 2 of the 5 for the Red Sox in a long top of the 4th. 5-1. Bailey Falter, 3 2/3. 5 runs all in that 4th inning. And the Red Sox have the 5-1 lead. And Corey Kluber works with the advantage for the first time tonight. And he deals a strike to Bryson Stott, who scored the lone Philadelphia run. He was hit by a pitch and then came around on the Alec Bohm RBI single in the 2nd. Now Kluber feeling a little bit more comfortable. Nice backdoor breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, and that's the 2 lanes I was talking about for Kluber when he was just at the top of his game with the then Cleveland Indians. Whoo, did he carve people up quickly. And that's what he would do. He would throw a ball that would stay out and the hitter would chase it or stay off it. Now he would come either with a backdoor slider or he'd throw a backdoor front foot slider.
Ground ball to second base for Arroyo to retire Stott. Corey Kluber with his 4th team in the last 4 years after 9 years with Cleveland. 3-time All-Star, won a couple of Cy Young Awards. But he's been with Texas, New York, Tampa Bay, and now Boston the last 4 years. Very stoic, very even-keeled. He's always been known for that. Pitched in the AL Wildcard Series against his former club Cleveland last year with Tampa. Cleveland won that series. He gets a swinging strike from Real Muto. He was 0-4 to start the year. Gave up 17 earned runs in those first 4 starts. Much better the last 2 now into this 3rd consecutive outing, pitching better.
Well, he has a great feel. I mean, some injuries and getting older have definitely taken away some of the sharpness, right? And he's trying to get back to that. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to manipulate a baseball. And you're seeing some of the evidence of him trending better tonight. That right there,
more of it right there, yeah.
That changeup is just drops off the bottom of where his fastball would start, and that's why hitters just look so off balance. That's a sinker coming to him, but it never gets to him because it's a changeup.
That's probably his best pitch in terms of opponents struggling with it. Reaching out to poke it to third. That is snared by Devers. What a play! Nicely done at third base by Rafi Devers for a second out, getting Real Muto. And as we've seen in the last few months, Real Muto's got some wheels. We saw him hit an inside the park home run last year.
Well, this play right here, he gets the ball when it's past him. Watch him get right there, make a nice play. You see Kike trying to, wasn't much Kike was going to be able to do, but he was trying to get over in the hole.
Kluber loves it. That's what Kike was telling us about, right? You still kind of have to let Devers range over to get to some of those balls. Kike will go over and try to back it up. That was some of the insight Hernandez gave us when he was on Mike in the second. 1-0 on Bohm. There's a strike. All this talk about the Red Sox winning 7 in a row, but the Tampa Bay Rays had their 4-game win streak snapped, just the 7th loss for Tampa. As Bohm punches it through the hole for a base hit. His second of the night. He's 2 for 2. Rays lost to the Yankees, who got some late offense in Tampa. The Orioles have won their last 2 games. And then the Red Sox, winners of 7 straight, yet it's still a pretty solid spread for the Rays despite their loss earlier today. You can see this division is beat up on the American League Central, which has really struggled this year. Here's Marsh, a strike.
I mean, it is so rare to be this deep in the season and have every team over 500. The Yankees are now 2 games over 500 in last place. I already mentioned where the Red Sox would be in 4 of the other 6 divisions. They'd be leading it.
Marsh, hard hit ball past the first baseman Turner. Around second is Bohm. He'll get into third base. And a little 2-out rally for the Phillies here as Brandon Marsh continues his excellent start to the season.
Yeah, Brandon Marsh has been amazing since coming over. You know, he really struggled. Balls up in the zone, and he has made some kind of adjustment this year, and it's paying off, because if you get production, we talked about this being a lengthy lineup, tough to pitch to the Philadelphia Phillies lineup. Well, you start getting production in the bottom end of that order. It's no treat at the top end.
There's Edmundo Sosa, who's had a pretty solid bat for somebody who really wasn't considered to be a huge offensive threat. He's done some good things offensively. 21 hits this year for Sosa. 5 of them have been doubles, 3 have been homers. So he's provided a little bit more pop than usual. Good sign for Philadelphia with him playing at third base right now. Remember, Alec Boehm is playing first base because of the Rhys Hoskins injury. Tore his ACL during spring training. So imagine if Hoskins were in this lineup, that would be that much better.
Yeah, now the only thing Sosa hasn't done, though, against starting pitchers is draw a walk. So he's up there wanting to hit, and that could be to the advantage of the pitcher, especially in situations where there's runners in scoring position.
Yeah, he's slugging almost 500, but his on-base percentage isn't all that far from league average. He's ahead of the count 2-0 against Kluber.
Now, this should be, typically most hitters will say 2-0 right here. It's got to be right there where you want it. But if you're super aggressive and you swing outside the zone, the pitcher doesn't have to throw you a strike.
Here's a 2-0. There is a strike, a tight one, tailing away from Sosa. Two balls and a strike on the 9-hitter for Philadelphia. Fouls it back.
He got a good swing at that one.
Well, this would be big if Sosa could get on base, because that would bring the tying run in Schwarber to the plate. Despite his struggles, could be an opportunity for Schwarber to bust out, but Sosa's got to get on base first. Kluber trying to get out of it, and Sosa fights it off. Boehm with a 2-out single. Marsh followed it up with a base hit. Bottom of the order for Philly, trying to do what the bottom of the order for Boston did. Sosa did a really nice job against that breaking ball from Kluber to fight it away.
Nowadays, they're coming up with terminologies that have always existed, but they just, I guess it sounds better when you call it a sweeper. Come on now. You're never going to hear me say it's a sweeper.
Yeah.
If a guy knows how to manipulate the baseball and he throws a breaking ball, it's a breaking ball.
It's a breaking ball. I was at a ball game the other day. Somebody's like, "What's a sweeper?" I'm like, "Listen, I don't want to try to explain it because I don't even fully know." 2-2 delivery, a big pitch here in the fourth, and it's full.
They have on some screens in some stadiums a pitch called a slutter. It's a slider and a cutter.
You just like good portmanteaus, I think, more than anything else. 8th pitch of this plate appearance to Sosa. It's a big 3-2, and he pokes it foul back behind the screen. On a 3-2 count with 2 outs, Marsh was off from first.
And again, starting pitchers, at least most of them want to know which guy wants to swing or which guy will take his walk. If the guy doesn't take his walk, again, this neutral pitch, 3-2, does not have to be a strike.
Right.
You make it look like one, pitch it out of the zone, you get a swing and a miss or an attempt at it.
Another payoff is lifted in the air to right. Verdugo racing over. He's in the corner, and he cannot get there. It's a foul ball. But a good effort by Verdugo, just couldn't get to it.
That's that wind that was not as evident right now as earlier in the game, but you saw that ball really tailing to the right field side. It looked like twice he had a beat on it. It's something to be said for an outfielder when you're trying to run to a wall to catch a ball. Not the most pleasant sight when you're running that direction.
So an extra life here for Sosa. He has fouled away 5 of the last 6 pitches, making Kluber work in his longest inning of the night. Pitch number 10 to Edmundo Sosa is popped up foul, and will extend the at-bat here. Nice battle between Kluber and Sosa.
It has been. He's been a little off balance, which frustrates a pitcher when you foul those ones. You know, his backside's going one way and his front side's trying to foul off that pitch.
Another 3-2. Broken bat, flare into right. Verdugo coming on, and Sosa wins the battle to get a Philadelphia run across in the 4th. An 11-pitch marathon, and Sosa gets the RBI to turn the lineup over to Schwarber.
He tried to jam him with a sinker. Well, he got a piece of the bat, which breaks off, and that flare results in an RBI and a good meeting again at the mound. They only get so many meetings, 5 times at the mound, and that after 11 pitches and at bat is certainly with 2 out hit. You got Schwarber, who's been struggling, and it's just a reminder of how you want to get him out. I thought before the game started that the kind of sinking action would actually play into Schwarber's swing, but he's been struggling a little bit, and they've been pitching him up and breaking balls, so they've been keeping him out of that swing that he likes, of that power stroke that he's trying to regain.
It's just 1 of 8 lifetime against Corey Kluber. Remember, Verdugo a few pitches prior just couldn't get to that one. That would have ended the inning, and then this was the reaction after the battle was won by Sosa. All of that, Brandon Marsh probably could have ended up at third base. He ended up stopping at second. But here's Schwarber, and a good pitch for a strike, breaking in near the knees. Well, this would be a big time for Schwarber to bust out of this long slump. He's the tying run at the plate. All of this coming with 2 outs for Philadelphia. And Schwarber lifts one to deep right field. Verdugo is there, though. And it is caught to end the frame. Only 1 across for Philadelphia as Kluber limits the damage and leaves 2 stranded. Philadelphia gets 1 back from Sosa. MLB app, still the #1 place for live baseball. Real-time highlights, breaking news. You can get a chance to follow players on a home feed personalized just for you. You can download that right now. I'm using it for the pitch-by-pitch. Saw 26 tosses in that bottom of the 4th inning. And Alex Verdugo leads off the Boston 5th after he doubled and scored one of the 5 Boston runs in the 4th inning, all against Bailey Falter. Luis Ortiz into his 2nd inning of relief now. 10 came to the plate in the 4th for Boston, 5 scored. 2-0 on Verdugo. 3-0. It'll be Verdugo, then Turner and Devers. 2, 3, and 4 for the Red Sox against Ortiz.
Going back to that earlier conversation, when you lose some megastars, right? The city that which they play, which really expects a lot in Boston.
Absolutely.
They've done a nice job to kind of replace. They're never going to replace some of them, but collectively they've got some future players that they could count on now for some time here, and add a dynamic that maybe wasn't there with some of the other players who were great. And we're talking about Bogarts and JD Martinez. So Boston in the toughest division last year didn't go the way they wanted it. Had a lot of injuries in their rotation. They're trying to figure out their rotation now. Can they get that healthy Sale that you've seen the last couple times? Really like some of the young guys in the pen. So it'll be interesting because their ERA,
as Verdugo walks,
is not equivalent to a team that with the record that they have, right? You can't expect the trends to continue where they're going to score 8 runs a game and give up 5.5 to 6 runs a game.
That's where they're at right now. Bottom 6, bottom 7 in team ERA so far. Both starters and bullpen haven't been as sharp as they need to be. That being said, a lot of injuries. That's been a problem for Boston and their pitching staff each of the last few years. Right now, without Garrett Whitlock, Cutter Crawford just went to the IL with a hamstring issue. Joely Rodriguez is on a rehab assignment for Boston. James Paxton is on a rehab assignment. They went out and acquired Zach Littell, who had a inauspicious finish to his time in San Francisco. 1-1 on Turner. And they've got some prospects in the position players. Marcelo Mayer, one of the top prospects, still what, 20, 21 years of age, something like that. Rafaela, another outfielder who can play some shortstop. They've got some things working in their pipeline right now. Turner fouls it, 1-2. Let's go down to the field. Ken Rosenthal, what you got, my friend?
Guys, if you remember 2013, Ben Sherrington was the general manager, and the Red Sox signed a lot of mid-level free agents. It's a comparable strategy this year. I thought, though, the core wasn't as strong. Remember, that 13 team had Ortiz and Ellsbury and Pedroia. But so far, so good with these guys.
And again, we haven't even seen, because he's getting the off night tonight, is Masataka Yoshida, who is on a 15-game hit streak entering action tonight. He extended that last night. He got hit by a pitch late and came out, but this was a scheduled off day for a player who's coming over from Japan, who's still getting used to the rigors and the schedule of big league ball. Here's a chopper to the left side. Charging in is Sosa. He has one play on Turner for out number 1. Into scoring position goes Verdugo.
Well, if there's been anybody that has made an instant kind of impact since coming over from Japan, I think his bat, I'm going to tell you something, it plays. It's electric. It's got power. It goes the other way. And getting a chance to see him in the WBC, watching him take batting practice, there's just something different about when he swings a bat. So his adaptation already has been really fast in the early part of his big league career.
Oh, Devers has swung it the first pitch all 3 times he's been up. He went fishing there, and it's 0-1. Had the big blow in the 4th inning, got it started with a 2-run double. A few batters later, Arroyo drove he and Turner in. Ortiz with a 1-1 count. 27 years of age, originally from California, former Oriole and Giant. Now in his first year with the Phillies. Started the year at AAA Lehigh Valley. Hard hit ball to left, and it is trapped by Schwarber. So it's a base hit. That was a rocket off the bat of Devers. Verdugo ends up getting to third base. And it's runners at the corners for Boston with only 1 out in the 5th.
Well, this was actually, Schwarber's had a few plays that one maybe could have been made. This one could have easily got by him. And of course, he's playing out there because Harper has to be able to DH.
Yep.
And the injury there, once Harper can get cleared to play a position, I'm pretty sure that Schwarber will be back in the DH.
Yeah, they'll be able to move a couple of pieces around to get Harper to play at first. There's Kike Hernandez with 2 on and 1 out against Ortiz. If you missed it, Ken Rosenthal talked with Bryce Harper earlier today during our MLB pregame. We were talking with Rob Thompson about it. The hope is, still a few months away from getting Harper comfortably back in the field. And he said it, if I don't play in the field this year, that's okay. They don't want to rush him back into the field, but it certainly would help to try to take some pressure off of Schwarber in particular in left. And to this Philadelphia team's credit, their defense has not been bad overall. Their outfield has been pretty good, but a lot of that is what Castellanos has done out in right field, and Marsh has covered a lot of ground in center.
Well, they knew. I mean, there's 2 things. When you get Schwarber and Castellanos, you're getting offense before you're getting defense. And you try to plus minus. If this was a plus minus hockey or whatever situation, you take more pluses on the offense than minus on the defense.
Yeah, you're driving more than you let through.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike, and Hernandez takes inside. And it's been a statistically, a metrically good defense, I think is probably the best way to say it. But that being said, their efficiency is below MLB average. That's how many balls in play you turn into outs. That's where they've struggled.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like those things can be deceiving both ways.
Yeah.
Right. Because let's face it, I like a lot of things, but there's some things that maybe are more fancy and sound good. But you don't really have great defense if you don't have a really good pitching staff. They don't work hand in hand. You show me a really bad pitching staff and the defense efficiency or whatever metrics you want, and they're in the top, usually doesn't happen.
That's a fair point. Hernandez fights that one off.
Because the old adage is, if they're hitting rockets off your pitcher, good luck trying to cover that.
Sure.
But if they're hitting soft contact, you're going to be able to cover and handle, unless you're not a good defensive team. That's where it shows up.
Yep.
And so everybody could get away with it forever with the shift and hide players that either had a good Good stick, but not a good glove. But they could hide him in the shift. No longer.
High chop from Hernandez to short. Turner whips it to Stott. Relay to first. In time. It prevents a run from coming home. The fewest double plays turned in baseball. It's the Phillies. That's just their 17th. It's a big one. Really nice double play turn. Turner to Stott to Bohm to prevent a Boston run from coming home. And here is Turner to lead it off in the home half of the 5th.
Well, this was a slow chopper that I thought Kike was going to beat out. And when you watch this live, that is a fast turn in the glove. Of course, nobody can take the second or shortstop out. You got to slide into the base. So that helps. You know you can stand your ground and deliver.
The fewest turned double plays in baseball this year. That was a huge one for Philadelphia. Keep this at a 3-run game halfway through. Oof, that one came inside on Trey Turner. It's 3-0.
Be interesting to see how certain teams handle their speedsters and how many bases they let them steal this year.
Yep.
Turner being one of them, and he easily could steal 100 bases, but you try to manage, is that profitable long term for keeping him healthy and in 160 or so games.
11-year contract for $300 million plus. It's a big investment. Hard hit ball to third, but playable for Devers. Nicely scooped up, 1 down. Bryce Harper to the plate. This was a big weekend for Bryce Harper and one of the men in the other dugout who has truly idolized him. So we mentioned Yoshida. Bryce Harper has been Yoshida's favorite MLB player for a long time, and he got the opportunity to finally meet Bryce Harper, and Bryce came over, gave some signed bats, some paraphernalia. This is a guy who named his French bulldog after Bryce Harper, wanted to wear number 34 in honor of Bryce. Of course, you can't do that if you're a Red Sox because of our buddy Big Papi. But a really, really cool moment to see between Yoshida and Harper earlier today. That's awesome. One and one on Harper. So we haven't really seen Yoshida in the dugout over the course of the night, but no surprise when Harper's back up, Yoshida's found his way out to watch him hit. Nobody's been hitting hotter than Yoshida, the longest active hit streak in baseball. Big cut from Harper, 1-2. Inside to Harper, 2-2. Ken Rosenthal, your colleague Jen McCaffrey did an outstanding job on a piece about Harper and Yoshida.
She did, and she detailed just how much Yoshida idolizes Harper. Now, Bryce gave Yoshida 2 bats, one of which he used in the NLCS, not the one he hit the home run with.
Right.
One was autographed, also a pair of cleats. And we asked Yoshida what it was like meeting Harper, his idol. He said, I was a little nervous. And then we asked him about the gifts, and he said, my treasures.
You said that to me, and I could feel my heart warming in my chest. That was just such a cool moment on a global stage, those two. Harper lifts one deep left center field. Right on cue. It's gone. His first of 2023.
He has such a unique attack the baseball swing, but not pull oriented. Attack it where it is, and he can go to any part of the park, as you watched right there.
Did you get a little flashback to the NLCS with where that ball ended up?
Absolutely.
Castellanos goes around.
I mean, it's just a unique style. You know, many people are wondering how long he can hit like that, right? Violent. It's almost a violent.
Sure.
And If you ask him, he probably said it the entire contract.
Sure. I was going to say forever. Well, a good sign for Harper. His first home run, his first RBI since returning. Castellanos grounds one is short to Hernandez. 2 down.
Well, when you watch this, it's almost like stay back. You want to throw me over there, and I'm just going to serve it with power to the opposite side of the field. And he's got that recoil, and he knew it. Crowd knew it, and even Kluber knew it.
Here is Stott with 2 away. Breaking ball from Kluber. It's the 9th home run that Kluber has allowed in 7 starts so far this year. One in each, at least one, I should say, in each start. A couple times he's given up a pair. This is a Boston rotation, as you mentioned, that has been navigating through rough starts. Chris Sale has started to turn things around a little bit. You saw his 10 strikeout outing last night. Kluber a little bit better the last couple as well. Chance for a limited damage 5th inning here if he can put Stott away. Red Sox rotation entered this series second to last in starters ERA. You see the bullpen up and going now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, when you look at, you say, all right, maybe they got blown out in a couple games, but to have the record they have and to be ranked where they are in pitching, you know, that's not going to happen too often.
Yep. Number 3 offense, number 24 staff. To Arroyo. Philly gets another one back, and it's off the bat of Bryce Harper. Waited a long time to get him back in the lineup. He came back much quicker than expected. And this is the type of swing that they're hoping to see a lot of in Philly. We're through 5 in Philadelphia. Red Sox lead it. Connor Brogdon on for a 2nd consecutive night, and he starts this evening off with a strike in the 6-2 Jarren Duran. Brogdon 2/3 of an inning last night, 17 pitches, gave up a hit. This one lifted off the bat of Duran to Schwarber, who started back, comes in for out number 1. May the 6th, an important baseball date. Happy 92nd birthday to one of the all-time great 5-tool players, offensively, defensively, did it all. Willie Mays celebrating 92 today. Had a couple of birthdays around these parts. There's Arroyo. I'll take ball 1. Hard hit ball to the gap in left center field, and Arroyo splits the outfielders all the way to the base of the wall. And Arroyo, who drove in a pair in the 4th with a single to left, bangs out a 1-out double here in the 6th. A chance to try to extend for Boston. Another birthday here to the great Larry Anderson. His 70th birthday today. One of the great radio announcers for the Philadelphia Phillies. And when you get all the balloons from the Fanatic, that's a pretty good birthday, I would say. There's more. they basically stockpiled the broadcast booth for Larry. The one-time Boston Red Sox as well. Long-time Philly, but one-time Red Sox.
Boy, he could spin a baseball.
Man.
I don't think he could throw it straight. His elbow was meant for sliders.
Longtime pitcher in the big leagues. Infamously traded to the Red Sox from the Houston Astros. It's one of the most famous trades for both of those franchises. There was a young guy who was picked very early in the draft named Jeff Bagwell, who'd spent 1 year in the Red Sox organization. It was a straight-up trade. Jeff Bagwell for Larry Anderson in 1990, and of course Bagwell went on to be a Hall of Famer with Houston. But you know what? Everybody loves Larry here in Philadelphia. Longtime Philly. I know his radio team loves him as well. And happy birthday to the great Larry Anderson here tonight.
With 2 strikes, see if he goes to that plus fastball. Tapia has struggled with 95+ mile-an-hour fastballs. The changeup.
Yeah, off speed to left, and Schwarber racing over. He's got it on the run. Nice job covering that ground by Schwarber. As back to second goes Arroyo. Couple of off-speed pitches in a row from Brogdon to Tapia to put him away.
He's got the good changeup, long levers, long, lanky. He can throw it, rush it up there at 95+, and then he can change speeds and have a good gap, a good variance between fastball and his changeup.
Brogdon's been really sharp as of late, really limiting traffic, and when he does come in to tougher innings, he has not allowed a whole lot of offense to come against him. First pitch to McGuire is a strike. He had a big at bat to extend that 10-batter 4th inning. The bottom of the order was very productive in that frame for Boston. Their 5-run 4th inning gave them the lead. Philadelphia scored runs in the 2nd, 4th, and 5th.
I'm out.
I don't know if he tended to throw that first pitch right there, but he got a strike. McGuire has been really good on inside fastballs. And look for maybe the rest of these to be away or change of speeds, but he has handled the middle to middle end pitches pretty well so far this year.
2 balls and a strike. Came inside, 3-1 on the 9-hitter. Phillies bullpen has been excellent in general as of late, in particular here at Citizens Bank Park. But the 9-hitter draws a walk from Brogdon. 2 aboard with 2 out. Stream every out-of-market MLB game now available at a new low price starting at $119.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. You can visit MLB.tv for details. So Ref Snyder back at the top of the Boston order.
Yeah. Looking at my score sheet, looking at the innings like twice going, I got us in the 7th inning, but I don't think it's the 7th inning.
Was that 10-batter frame that got you, right?
Yeah, made a mistake. First one of the year.
You call enough of these, and I know you've called a ton of these. Yeah, I've done the same.
Yeah,
a lot of scribbles in the scorebooks over the years, my friend.
This won't be my last.
Yeah, not the first, won't be the last.
Hey, at least I've done it this long. Normally I give up and just cheat on yours.
I got to pass it over here.
Look over and go, okay. See, I got us in the 7th inning here.
A little skip there.
I should have gone right down there in that 10-batter inning for all those keeping score at home.
Yeah, you got to jam it all in here over 2 boxes, 2 columns. 2 balls and a strike. Shout out to the great Bob Carpenter, longtime broadcaster in Major League Baseball. Of course, the voice of the Nationals, puts out one of the best scorebooks ever made. Always appreciated. 2 on, 2 out, and Ref Snyder bounces one, hugging the line. It's a fair ball past a diving Sosa. That's going to score Arroyo. That rolls into the corner. It's going to score a pair. Ref Snyder's into second, and Boston gets 2 more key insurance runs in the 6th to get the lead back up to 4. It's 7-3, tied up against that third base line for Ref Snyder.
Schwarber was in a tough spot. There's a little jet out down that left side, and it looked like it could have hit the corner and bounced towards left field, but it didn't. So watch this ball. First of all, they don't have him played to pull. Hits a slow ball down the left field line. And then watch this play right here. He thinks it's going to bounce, maybe off the wall. Well, we couldn't see the angle he was taking, but he was taking that angle, and that's the reason the second run could score.
So it's not an error, but that's some of the defensive liabilities that we were talking about.
So watch the angle, and we still can't see it. He thought it was good. You could see how
you saw him jut a little bit angling too far in, right?
Yeah.
Sky high from Verdugo. Marsh, the center fielder, coming on, but the Red Sox with 2 outs tack on 2 more from Refsnyder. Back to a 4-run advantage as we played 5.5 in Philly. Corey Kluber in line for his second win in his last 3 starts. Gave up the solo shot to Bryce Harper in the 5th, scattered 7 hits, and his offense, as has been the case most of the year for the Red Sox, backing up their starting pitcher for a 7-3 lead. And it's John Schreiber to JT Realmuto.
Schreiber, you see, there's going to be a different angle they're going to get to look at. Fastball, sinker, slider.
And one of the most reliable relievers going back to last year for Boston. One of the most heavily used relievers this year. 17th appearance. He's been one of their best strikeout guys. In fact, their best out of the bullpen this year. 1-1 to the Philadelphia catchers outside.
Yeah, he's slinging it down there, 94 plus, and he's letting it go. And then just the combination of that slider, it gets a tough angle on right-handers to pick up that pitch.
Fastball misses, 3-1. Schreiber pitched on Thursday, struck out 3 while recording 5 outs against the Blue Jays, whom the Red Sox swept in 4 games, part of this 7-game win streak.
I don't think people realize how hard that is to do, to sweep somebody in a 4-game series. It's a rarity.
Schreiber walks Realmuto to begin this 6th inning.
That would be kangaroo court fine if they still exist, which I don't know if they do. And the kangaroo court fine would be if you come into the game with a 4-run lead and you walk the leadoff guy, it's an automatic fine.
Might be $100. Might be you got to do something for the
today
clubhouse.
It would be
but
a lot more.
That's also, I'm very much harking upon years past. I think in that scenario there, Johnny.
I was the judge when I got older and had a robe. And
did you get the gavel, which is the most important part of being the judge in any scenario?
Oh yeah.
Because if you don't have the gavel, then what is the point?
I had security. I had Klesko as in case
Klesko,
things got out of hand.
Yep. So he was your bailiff.
He was the bailiff. Yeah. Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, when court was in session.
Smoltz court.
Yeah,
that's right.
Court was in session. You did not. No cursing. No.
Bouncer to the first base bag. Tough play by Turner. Whips it to second for 1. It's off the glove of Schreiber on the relay. Not sure he would have had Bohm anyway on that tight relay, but a nice play by Turner to get the lead runner in Realmuto for the first out.
I didn't think they had a chance at first base. They must not have got out of the box pretty good. Because Bohm can run down the line.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than I even thought. He really did have a shot to beat that out. Or to be caught, I should say, if that ball gets into the glove of Schreiber.
Tough play for the pitcher. You rarely see those plays made where the pitcher's got to run over and get a throw, usually on the run.
Yeah, 3-6-1 on the move. Here's Marsh ahead of the count. Towards Hernandez. Stumbled a little bit. He's going to race to the bag and win the foot race to get Bohm for the second out. Marsh is safe at first. While we got a chance, let's get a game break from my man Kevin Burkhardt. Great to hear you, buddy. Yeah, a couple of homers yesterday for Santander against the Braves, and the Orioles 22-10, second place behind Tampa Bay in the East. There's the 6 best records in all the baseball right now.
Tell you what, I mean, you never can figure these things out.
No,
but the Braves in their record, they've struggled at home. They got an unbelievable record on the road, and you would think, if anything, a team that's experienced, loves to play in that electric stadium, they've struggled at home.
15-3 on the road, 7-8 at Truist. There's been a lot of, I keep using the word fluky, whether that's the right word or not, I'm not sure, and it'll probably play out as we go, but just interesting trends in the first 6 weeks or so of the season.
Yeah, but what I love, this is the one thing that gets overlooked with all the rule changes that have been played, the balanced schedule where everybody plays everybody. Yeah. Thankfully.
Love that. I mean, now it really shows you or gives maybe a better barometer for comparison compared to years past.
Well, plus you're playing for playoff spots and may not play the same teams in your division. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Never did to me. And now we get.
It made sense when the format was 2 divisions or even 3 when it first went to 3 divisions in the mid-90s. Like, it made sense. All right, you win your division, now you go. There's only 4 teams or whatever it is. It made a little bit more sense. With this expanded playoff, I think it's much better to play all these teams. Sosa won an 11-pitch battle in his last trip. This one just 4 from Schreiber to get him out. Leaves a man stranded. Stadium Profile, the oldest in the National League East, established in 2004. Hosted a World Series for the first time in 13 years last year. And there is one of the all-time greats, Dan Baker, the booming voice of Citizens Bank Park. And he just announced Sir Anthony Dominguez into the game out of the Philadelphia bullpen to face 3, 4, and 5. Turner will take down and away to start. 97 from Dominguez, fastball slider.
Yeah, you want to see a fastball with some horsepower? This is it.
And Turner at a 98-mile-an-hour heater cranks it to Marsh for out number 1. This Philadelphia bullpen had not given up a run at home for 15 innings, and then Brogdon gave up a couple with 2 outs in the 6th. That extended the Boston lead to 7-3. One away for Devers. First pitch into left. 3rd hit in a row for Devers. It's a 1-out single. All 3 he's gone the other way. Off of 3 different pitchers. And he has swung at the first pitch all 4 times. It's led to a big night tonight.
Well, he's got power. We've seen the 11 home runs, and I still think, every hitter gets into a groove and maybe a little swing and miss more than most years, but they locked him up.
He's going to be here for a while. First pitch swinging, Hernandez to center for Marsh. 2 away. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal for more.
Well, Rafael Devers is the one who did not get away, and he benefited from the trade of Mookie Betts. Couldn't sign him, the Red Sox. And, of course, Sander Bogarts going to the Padres. And Devers, he was very committed to getting full value. He wasn't going to sign for a discount, and he got full value, $313.5 million over 10 years.
Which will start next season. Went inside on Duran. Are they going to challenge this? He thought he had gotten hit by a pitch.
Yeah. The umpires are going to come in and maybe help him out before they go to a challenge.
Crew chief is Doug Eddings at 3rd. Maybe he had a better angle on it. Sure enough. So no challenge necessary there. The umpiring crew got together.
Yeah, changed directions, hit him in the back foot, right?
Watch that left foot of Duran. Yeah, off the toe. A little deceiving because you thought maybe for a second it went off of Real Muto. I can understand maybe why Lance Barrett didn't call a hit by pitch initially, but they got it right. And Duran is on for the first time tonight. And that moves Devers into scoring position. Again, a little 2-out rally for Boston. Here is Arroyo. Punched on the ground to third. Sosa will make the play. Dominguez leaves a couple stranded. And it's stretch time here in Philadelphia. Red Sox in control for the game. Former Philadelphia Eagle Zach Ertz with his wife Julie, who's going to be part of the U.S. women's national team coming up this summer. You'll see the Women's World Cup right here on Fox. And those two, obviously not in Philadelphia full-time anymore. Both play for different organizations. Of course, Zach Ertz got traded to the Arizona Cardinals. Julie's been playing out west as well in the National Women's Soccer League. But they are here to celebrate the opening of House of Hope over on West Hunting Park Avenue in Philadelphia. It's a one-stop shop for children who need food, need to be tutored, need to be mentored, need to play sports, need something as simple that we take for granted as Wi-Fi access. Just a wonderful effort by the Ertz family. It's the Ertz Family Foundation. They've got a website if you want to learn more about that as well. Great stuff from the Ertz family. They've been great over these last several years, even since leaving Philadelphia. Schwarber struggles continues. He's 0 for 9 in the series. One down for Trey Turner.
This is where the action's got to start here with the Phillies. They're facing a hot ball club, and they got swept in L.A. and trying to right the ship.
Harper hit a home run his last at bat. He's on deck against Brennan Bernardino, the left-hander. He pitched 4 outs on Thursday. Has not allowed a hit to the last 12 batters he has faced. They're in a good stretch right now for this Boston bullpen. Quickly 0-2 on Trey Turner.
Again, funky arm angle and delivery gives deception. Not overpowering fastball, 91.5 miles per hour, but he hides it well and slings it from a lower 3/4.
1-2 on Turner. Bernardino, a 31-year-old from California, originally drafted by the Cincinnati Reds almost a decade ago. He's bounced around. Similarly, as has the man in the Philadelphia bullpen, that's Jeff Hoffman. Lifted deep to left, Trey Turner, his second home run of the week. And it's back to a 3-run game, his 4th of the year.
That just goes to show you off balance how much power he has. He's a little guy that, I mean, not little, but he's a shortstop that he's got power for his size. But he's out front a little bit, and he's able to keep his hands back. See how the foot gets down, hands stay back, and that's how you hit 30. I think he'll hit 30 this year. This ballpark. Warms up, gets hot.
Yep. Well, this has been the problem, though, for the Phillies this year. So now they have hit 37 home runs, which is right around Major League average. 27 of them, including Harper and Turner tonight, have been solo home runs. And now Harper shows bunt, and it's quickly 0-2. There goes the streak for Bernardino after giving up the solo shot to Turner. .107-mile-an-hour rocket from Harper in the 5th inning. Goes down swinging here on that funky fastball for out number 2. Two for 4 night so far for Harper. bring up Castellanos, who's looking for his first hit of the night. Trying to get on base for the first time.
You know, there's not really such a thing as big wins in early May. But I would argue the Yankees had a big win today.
I agree.
In Tampa, down 2-0 in the 8th. Against a team that's looking to run away and hide from everybody. The Yankees found a way to win the game 3-2 and calm the storm that's brewing in New York City around that team.
Just 2 games over 500, but in last place in the East. Line drive to right. Verdugo has to race back on the move. He makes the catch to take a hit away from Castellanos. A home run from Turner cuts the lead back down to 3. Boston. To the top half of the 8th we go. Philadelphia trailing Boston 7-3, and Jeff Hoffman makes his 2023 big league debut, getting a major opportunity with the Philadelphia Phillies. Came into Philadelphia on Friday afternoon. He's been with Cincinnati the last couple of seasons, was with the Rockies prior to that, and he deals with Tapia, then McGuire, then back to the top, and Refsnyder, 30-year-old right-handed reliever. 2 weeks ago, he was summoned from AAA Lehigh Valley to pitch to Bryce Harper during his makeshift spring training. He opted out of his contract. That gave the Phillies a 48-hour window to call him up to the big league club, and needing a little bit of a bullpen boost, they bring Hoffman up, and for Hoffman an opportunity to try to find some traction at the big league level once again.
Kind of a short arm, but 98, 99 mile an hour fastball with a slider and a changeup.
There's the fastball. And he misses inside to Tapia. Leadoff man is aboard for Boston in the 8th. And tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. See how easy it is to bundle all your insurance needs. Robert Indiana's Love here in Philadelphia. Created in 1964 as a card. It eventually became a statue here in Philly. Tapia's got a decent secondary lead off of first, as McGuire, who's had a good productive night from the 9th spot, takes upstairs.
Not really seeing him much. I would think that the arm plays, but the location has got to be something that needs to improve.
There goes Tapia. Throw down by Real Muto. He is safe, and Tapia has a stolen base. His 4th this season. The Red Sox are now 22 for 23 stealing bases, the best percentage in baseball.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Long time to deliver the ball, so speed will take advantage. And the really bigger bases, less throws to first, all the enticement to try to create more action.
Stolen base percentage success is up about 4 or 5% from last year. Attempts are up about, I think it was about 33% with the bigger bases, and the limited disengagements and throws over and pickoff attempts. Hoffman snaps the skid. He had thrown 7 consecutive out of the zone until that strike. Hoffman, a big-time prospect a decade ago when he was drafted. Bunt pushed up the line by McGuire. Sosa's play is at first, a successful sacrifice for Boston. And that moves a runner in Tapia to third. It's just their 4th sacrifice as a team this year. 5-3 sacrifice for McGuire. That puts Tapia at third and back to the top for Refsnyder. Now the infield will come in. And every time Philadelphia recently has scored, Boston has been able to answer. We get a pitch clock violation here as well. As Refsnyder was climbing in, it's going to be a strike against the batter.
At some point, don't you feel like we'll get to the end? I mean, there really shouldn't be any more past, I don't know, a couple more weeks.
The hope is like everybody is now being conditioned to the new circumstances, right?
You would think that would end.
And because of that automatic strike, Refsnyder was already in a hole, and Jeff Hoffman gets his first strikeout of 2023. Big second out, still a runner at third.
I mean, the one thing I think people were worried about with some of these rule changes that maybe weren't in favor of at the beginning is, oh, what if a game ended on that? I highly doubt a game will end on it, but it's possible.
It's possible. Well, Justin Turner, I hadn't seen anybody as they intentionally walked Verdugo to get to Turner. Turner struck out on a pitch clock violation last night. And to be honest, I don't know if that had happened before, but it was the first time I had seen that take place.
Right.
But he was late to essentially look at the pitcher, so you in a physical fashion are establishing that, yes, I am ready, I'm in the box. You have to do that before there's 8 seconds on the pitch clock. And apparently Turner did not do that last night. He ended up striking out in the 5th. He'll take a strike here to start. Tapia walked to begin the inning, stole second, went to third on the sacrifice. Refsnyder struck out. Verdugo intentionally walked. 0-1 on Turner. 0-2 on Turner. This would be big for Hoffman to get the strikeout here. Verdugo takes off, and Turner fouls it at the plate.
I noticed the craziest things, but I'm just intrigued. I mean, I could never do it. Chew gum and pitch at the same time. I just couldn't do it. I'm intrigued when guys can, you know. And you don't see it very often, but it works for him, and it didn't work for me. That's for sure. I tried it.
Did you try it? I was going to say, you were like, no, I'm not doing this.
No.
0-2 again to Turner. Verdugo takes off, and he'll take second base. They will give Verdugo the stolen base, his third of the year. Now 2 in scoring position for Turner. Saw so many of these opportunities in LA. He goes down swinging. Welcome back to the big leagues. Jeff Hoffman leaves 2 stranded in scoring position. Still a 3-run game. Boston, Philadelphia sports moments. Of course, game 4 between the Celtics and Sixers will take place just across the way at Wells Fargo Center tomorrow night. Newly minted MVP Joel Embiid trying to get the Sixers out of a 2-1 hole. As Boston, the reigning Eastern Conference champs, tries to move on to the conference final. You got the reigning NL champs Philadelphia in a hole right here. There's the MVP's jersey. Still Brendan Bernardino here.
Boston fans still got to be a little bit in shock with the Bruins' historic.
Unbelievable.
And then ousted in the playoffs.
Florida Panthers with the upset. One of the best regular seasons in NHL history, arguably the best.
I think they were up 3-1 too, weren't they? I thought they were up 3-1 and lost. Panthers got hot on them.
Yep. Ended up winning in overtime in game 7 after being down in the series. Big spot for Philadelphia here. Stott, Real Muto, and Bohm, as Bernardino still working into his second inning of relief. Stott lifts it to left. Devers out, and he's got it for out number 1. Both of these teams will be off come Monday. Boston then goes to Atlanta. Philadelphia will welcome in Toronto. Left Bernardino in to face the leadoff lefty in Stott. To the bullpen deeper go the Sox here in the 8th. Red Sox scored 5 in the 4th inning after Philadelphia took the early lead. Bottom of their order, showing off the depth of the Red Sox lineup. Bryce Harper, in just his 4th game of the season, coming back from Tommy John surgery, got his first home run of the year in the 5th. Right now, a 7-4 Boston lead, 1 away, bases empty in the 8th. Real Muto climbs in, and Josh Winkowski's first pitch is punch on the ground foul for strike 1. Winkowski coming off his first career save earlier this week. It came against the Toronto Blue Jays. The most heavily used reliever in baseball, 22 1/3 so far.
Yeah, he could pound the zone. Fastball, sinker, slider, change.
In towards left center field. Long run, and Tapia will not get there. It'll be extra bases for JT Real Muto, who greets Winkowski rudely. And suddenly the Phillies will have the tying run in the on-deck circle. A 2-strike double from Real Muto.
Yeah, he tried to climb the ladder, and he got on top of it. You see where the wanted the pitch, kind of threw it where he wanted it, but just a better job of getting the foot down and just getting the barrel to the ball to split the defenders. It's one of the best catcher combination, defense, offense.
Here's Bohm. Takes ball 1 as McGuire had to backhand it for the stop. Couple of hits and a fielder's choice, an RBI and a run scored tonight for Alec Bohm, who got Philadelphia on the board all the way back in the 2nd. Before Boston answered with 5 to take the lead. They haven't looked back since. Outside, 2-0. Fastball, slider, cutter combination for Winkowski. Hard hit to short. Hernandez stumbled, but he was able to hold on at the lip of the grass. A smirk from Kike after out number 2 came in dramatic fashion.
I'm just glad this play didn't happen when he had the mic on.
That's right.
That ball was barreled and diving.
Said it, Hernandez has done some good things on defense. He's struggled a little bit at times with the throwing since he's come back to short, but he's also made a couple of impressive diving plays as well as he gets used to that combo with Devers on the left side. As we talked to him about earlier tonight, he's done this a long time and has played that position a bunch, so just trying to get comfortable again. Here's Marsh. Strike 1.
Whoa.
Big adjustment at the plate for Brandon Marsh this year. That's why he's gotten off to a torrid stretch to begin the season. We'll see if he can sustain it, because it's been a really nice start to the year for Marsh, who's been one of the best Philadelphia hitters.
Ball.
0-2, as you heard Lance Barrett. You said this earlier, Smoltz, just change of scenery coming over from Los Angeles last year. It really seemed like it helped Marsh.
Yeah, he don't know what he did in the offseason to create a better angle, but he has.
But that's a big pitch from Winkowski. He comes on, gives up the double to Real Muto, but gets the next 2 to keep Boston in front. USFL Week 4 action continues tomorrow. The Stallions and the Maulers will square off 6:30 Eastern time on FS1. and the Fox Sports app. Good swing and miss stuff from Gregory Soto out of the bullpen, and right on cue, he gets a swing and miss from Rafi Devers, whom he struck out in a perfect 7th inning last night. He is on to try to keep this at a 3-run game with the Phillies coming to bat in the bottom of the 9th. Quickly 0-2 on Devers. He's been very aggressive all night.
I was surprised by the numbers out of Soto. This guy can be nasty. Saw the fastball slider already combination.
"28 years of age, part of the Matt Vierling deal in the offseason. 3 pitches to get Devers on 3 swings, 1 away in the 9th.
I mean, this is good morning, good afternoon, good night to one of the hotter hitters on the night.
Yep. We saw that look on Devers' face as he looked back at his fellow Dominican. Just kind of shook his head after 3 nasty pitches. This is backdoor to Hernandez to start. In the bottom of the 9th, it'll be 9-1-2. Sosa, Schwarber, and Turner scheduled. And Kenley Jansen was loosening up in the Boston bullpen to try to come on for a 2nd straight save in this series. Hernandez lifts it down the right field line, foul. There's Kenley Jansen, who got career save number 398 last night. That pushed him in front of Philadelphia's Craig Kimbrel on the all-time list. Kimbrel currently sitting at 397. He's been one of the multiple closers for the Phillies this year. Former Red Sox, of course.
So is that the active leaders?
Active leaders, yep. Bohm giving chase in foul ground, reaches up to retire Hernandez. 2nd out of the inning. Listen to every MLB game live or on demand with At Bat Plus. You can watch all minor league baseball and get live look-ins on MLB Big Inning, taking you to the best action. No blackouts. MLB.com/atbat for more. Nice play by Bohm to retire Hernandez. Now Duran was hit by a pitch in the 7th, 0 for 3 prior. There's a strike. I think I misinterpreted you there a moment ago, John. Those are the 2 active leaders on the all-time list. Period. Right now it's Jansen 7, Kimbrel 8.
Gotcha.
Really does feel like Rob Thompson wants to get Kimbrel to that 400 mark. Jansen has been rolling lately since coming back from the back issue. Both, it seems like, I mean, it's kind of inevitable that they'll end up becoming the 7th and 8th closers in big league history to reach 400 saves.
Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment. Both have been through a lot. Both have dealt with some setbacks.
Yep. Duran lifts it to left. Schwarber in. Turner out. 1-2-3. Go the Sox against Soto. And here comes Kenley Jansen. Sosa, Schwarber, Turner coming up. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Phillies with 9-1-2 due up, and Kenley Jansen is on tonight. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, shirts, collectibles, and more. MLBshop.com. Jansen trying to make it back-to-back in this series, trying to make it 8 out of 9 this season. Trying to make it 399 for his regular season big league career.
Doing it a long time.
Trying to become the 7th with 400 saves. Billy Wagner is in front of him on the all-time list. Here's Sosa. First pitch foul. Those are the active save leaders. Jansen and Kimbrel 1 and 2. Kimbrel part of the 18 World Series with Boston. Jansen with the Braves last year. Last night Jansen came on in the 9th. Got a strikeout of Stott, gave up a single to Sosa, walked Marsh, then struck out Schwarber and Turner in succession to end the night with a tying run on base.
Well, one of the things that I was intrigued to see with the rule changes, of course, was going to be Kenley Jansen.
Yep.
First person that came to mind about whether that would affect him and his delivery and getting the pitch on time.
Guy who's dealt with heart issues in the past. Obviously, his health has been a concern. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Sosa. Ken Rosenthal, you talked with Kenley the other day. He had a heck of a quote to give to you.
He did, and he took exception to people thinking that he could not make the adjustment to the pitch clock. He said, "Can't is not in my vocabulary." Now, he has yet to be called for a violation, and he told me, "That's the pride I'm taking in it. I'm not going to have a violation this year."
Trying to run down that ball. Hard hit. That's one of the rare hard hit balls off of Kenley Jansen this season. And it was off the bat of Sosa. And the leadoff man is on base in the 9th for Philadelphia.
Yeah, this was right back up the middle, and it got him in the glove, and they're going to make sure that it didn't get him in the wrist. It looked like it got him in the glove. Let's see on the replay here. Yeah, they still sting either way. And he got on this like a former catcher that he was.
Looked like it got him in closer to the webbing than the heel of the glove, I would say.
Yeah, they still sting.
Oh, no doubt.
Trying to get that feeling back.
Yeah. That'll numb your hand a little bit, I would think, right?
I'm telling you, I've had those. They get in your glove, and it's as if it never hit your glove. It hits straight in the hand.
And think about that, because yeah, where it hit on the glove may look okay, but depending on your hand placement, that might have hit him flush in that, you know, lower palm below the thumb area. So Richard Blyer, left-hander, just out of maybe some precaution, starting to stir a little bit. After the training staff and Alex Cora going to look at Jansen, he's going to face Kyle Schwarber, whom he struck out not on a cutter, but on a nasty slider last night that left Schwarber in disbelief. Schwarber is 0 for his last 19, trying to break out of a slump. Tying run on deck for Philadelphia in Turner. Fouled back. Schwarber was the winning run at the plate with 1 out. That's the pitch that got him.
You don't see many of those, and he wasn't anticipating one of those.
I think he was thinking cutter all the way. The other 2 Ks for Jansen were on the cutter. Now when he gets Schwarber wave through, and it's 0-2.
It's a helpless feeling for a hitter when you're lost mechanically, timing and everything, and you can just see being in between. We talked to you about earlier, he was here early in the day working on some tee drills with a tee at home plate, trying to get the barrel of the bat to certain places of where that tee was and that timing.
0-2 to Schwarber. 1-2. Signed as a catcher all the way back in 2004 by the Dodgers. His one-time short-lived teammate Trey Turner is on deck. Got Schwarber again for a 2nd straight night. The slump continues for Kyle. And there's 1 down here in the 9th inning.
Well, as a former closer, and you know the score, and you know who's on deck, so your key is don't get the tying run to come to the plate.
Yep.
So this batter, very important to Jansen, so he doesn't have to face Harper with the tying run.
Trey Turner lifts one to left, angling over his Tapia into the corner. 2 away. Back to first base will go Sosa. So here you go. Chance for Philadelphia to try to extend this game. And you're going to get Jansen and Harper, the type of matchup you come to the ballpark for. The clock keeps starting and stopping here, and I think they were trying to get the right baseball as well for Jansen. You heard Bryce Harper trying to communicate with Lance Barrett. Hey, is the clock going? Am I moving? Do I have to move quicker? A couple of home runs against Kenley Jansen. There goes the runner. Harper fouls it back.
You've never seen that. Almost at second base before he fouls off the pitch.
Yeah, that took a little while to get home for Jansen.
Well, at this point,
we don't really care about Sosa at this point.
Yeah.
Infield is playing back. There goes Sosa. Harper fouls it. 0-2. Harper was left on deck last night by Jansen, striking out Turner. Now he's got Harper 0-2.
The reason I say you rarely see that, I wonder what Harper is seeing when his teammate is almost at second, simultaneously the ball coming to home plate.
Oh-2 pitch. Harper stays alive. Now the pitch clock is back up and working out in center. Oh-2. Back up the middle, off the mound to the shortstop Hernandez. Save number 399 for Kenley Jansen in his big league career leads to an 8th consecutive Boston Red Sox win, their longest streak in 2 years.
Well, the Red Sox are feeling it, shaking hands a lot, and the Philadelphia Phillies are trying to get to a point where they could shake hands. They have not won in a while. Boston hasn't lost in a while.